Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm having a great morning. It's a good day. I know that my face seems a bit washed out here because of the morning light. I always look at myself going, man, you're not looking too colorful. However, I'm fine, and it is what it is, and this is my skin, and it doesn't matter. All right. I'm full of very happy today. Very happy. So who do we have? We have Ernest Patton over on Instagram. Hello, Ernest. Welcome. I've seen you pop in a number of times before. I appreciate you coming in and giving this Reiki thing a try. Yesterday's experience was kind of interesting. It was way deeper for a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people understood what was going on, but I was kind of offering people an opportunity to enter the quantum field. So it was very, very interesting. So Lori Ann's on her way back from work. Mary's here. Jax. Hi, Jax. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Mindy. Hi, Lily. Heidi ho. Heidi ho. I'm glad you guys are here and you let me do this for you. I'm very appreciative. For some reason today I've picked up, it's very unclear. Oh, there you go. It's a blue lace agate. This is a throat chakra stone. I like it. It's beautiful. I have a bunch of them. And for some reason, this one has just been in my hands all morning. I've been sitting here working and doing a variety of other things, and I keep picking it up. And if you haven't got a favorite stone, I used to have a book for my son when he was wee, and it's called Everybody Needs a Rock. And it was an Indigenous book in Canada. It was beautiful, and it's black and white and kind of a yellowy rust earth color. And it explains the importance of needing a rock. And I find more and more that when I pick these up, I hold them, I put them in my pocket. They're my go-to. I feel like it gives me that opportunity to remember the present moment, regardless of the qualities of the stone itself and what it's doing for me energetically. It reminds me to stop for a second, appreciate the present moment. Let's be here and let's find that moment to be with myself in a state of love and not a state of worry and anxiety. It really does give me that opportunity. I know that Lily has a bunch of them around her all the time, and she knows a lot more about them than I do, and Rita works with them as well. I don't work with them so much as just super appreciate what they are. And they're just nice. And sometimes they just feel right. So hi, Cynthia over in Instagram. Nice to see you there too. So Milan said, hang on. Pop that up because it's a little bit longer. Yesterday's experience was so different and honestly felt life-changing. No words. I'm going to get a book and show it to you guys for a second. Hang tight right there. If yesterday meant anything to you about your experience, like for Milan, it did. There's a gentleman, I've mentioned him before. His name is Joe Dispenza. His story is quite wonderful. He's kind of an operator that's really direct and aggressive almost in his style and his way of being, but not aggressive like hurt you aggressive, but just like do it this way. Come on, come on, come on, come on. He's a coach extreme. This book, let me do that here for you guys. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. This book, I read it a long time ago. Well, a long time ago. When was it published? I know I got it after it was published. 2012 it came out, so I probably read it, the original version of it. Someone lent it to me when I was in Kuala Lumpur. Probably 2014. So this came out 2012, and it's been redone. There's notes all over this. I've written this. So what we did yesterday was a little bit, it's a little slice. It was an introduction into the concept of quantum healing and being in the quantum field and allowing the possibility, potential, and opportunity that I've talked about time and again to come to you and you to come to it. It's a double way journey, right? You meet in the middle, but you meet in the middle on the other side in the quantum field, and you pull back things to you here. And that's how manifestation works. So that's based loosely on quantum, not mechanics, but kind of a quantum physics. So one thing you guys probably don't know about me is that when I did my graduate studies in ancient Greek philosophy, I actually studied quantum physics and quantum mechanics and quantum theory as it applied to different philosophic principles. So for me, this is a comfortable area to talk about. I'm not scared of talking about it. I get it on a deeper level, and I understand why heart-mind coherence works. So if you're looking for this, I'll hold it up again. All right. This is a good book to explain the basic concept of where the quantum field is, what it is, and then how do you go about getting there? And now he makes us work for it. And I say he makes us work for it, and that's not right wording. However, I want to carry the tone with it that going and doing quantum manifestation is not for, as Mindy says, the faint of heart. You've said that before, Mindy. Change is not for the faint of heart. It certainly isn't. You need to be invested. You dig in, and it's breath work. And there are times when I've done it. So I was really putting this into practice in KL and then again in Italy when I was living in Italy. And it's altering. It's absolutely altering. I credit a lot of that work for me making the change that I've done, but I also do it in tandem with Reiki, which is just amazing. Lily, I recommend that book. If you don't have that book, do you? Maybe you do. Go get it. Read it. It takes your understanding of the energy work that's involved with Reiki and allowing the universe to bring to you what is for your highest good. And often when you go into these meditative states for quantum healing, you'll find what is for your highest good. Sometimes it's a shocker. All right. Be ready and be happy to be shocked because it's all good. All right. Let me go back and while you guys are chatting with each other and check your comments and questions. Definitely everybody needs a rock. Everybody get a rock, man. Put it in your pocket. Or get something that feels really good in your hand that when you touch it, you go, oh yeah, present moment. Just make it your present moment holder and reminder. So this is simple. These are very simple things to do, but if you've never done them before, they're not going to be innately natural for you to try to do. So I offer that as a suggestion for you. Anyway, I was realizing that I do this all the time. I just never talk about it. And it's like yesterday I did this thing with you that I know about, but I haven't done it with you yet. So it's Kind of cool. Lily carries stones with her all the time. Fantastic. All right. So Mindy had a great experience, or a different experience. I'm going to say great with a small g. Great meaning it was different and interesting and gives you something to think about. Hi, Anne. Welcome, Pepsi Bug Lady. And thank you for reminding people to give a thumbs up. And so, yeah, I like this. Oops. I like this comment, Lily. Yesterday was definitely deep. I think Reiki wants us to go deeper. I think that given who's here and who's committed to being here on a semi-regular or regular basis, whether you can be here with us most of the time or all of the time, I think it probably just was ready for you guys to take this step. It used me as the facilitator. I kind of don't know where that came from. And often when I do this, I don't plan it. There's no script. I'm used to saying things in a certain tone, in a certain way, but that's from doing it over and over. But yesterday, I just kind of went off script again and just threw in the new lingo, the new mantra that I was kind of running through with you guys. You are whole, you are complete, you are safe, you are loved, and over and over and over. It's true. It's hard to feel it, but until we spend time with it, we're not going to give it the opportunity to convince us, are we? Hi, Cora. Welcome. You've been gone for a couple days. It's nice to see you there. Hey, Maggie. Welcome. Welcome. All right. So, Milan, check it out. Dr. Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. There was one book before this, a little bit harder of a slog through. People were saying it was a great book, but can you write it so that we can actually, in layman's terms, come to a deeper understanding of what you're doing? And then at the back of, oh, hang on, I'll get the other one. Where is it? There it is. Hang on, guys. I don't have a ton of books. I tend to get a book, read it, and I pass it on. I don't believe in hoarding knowledge, and keeping books just to me feels like I'm hoarding knowledge. So when you're done breaking the habit of being yourself and you spend time in that explanation of what's going on and how it all works, and you'll need to read it a couple times if you're not comfortable with this kind of conversation and this kind of thinking about quantum science and the quantum field and what the hell does all this mean, you're going to need to read it a couple of times. I've had a number of friends say, whoa, I want to understand this. And even though he's trying to break it down, you need to back up a couple of times. And don't be worried about doing that, because this might be all new for you. If you're already comfortable with it and you haven't read the book, just go read it. It's fantastic. So then this is the follow-up book that you're going to want to get. Becoming Supernatural, also Dr. Joe Dispenza. This book, okay. This one has the scientific rhythms and patterns. I mean, it's got stuff like this in it to show you what's going on. It breaks it down, talking about diastolic and systolic pressure, while your heart rate, while you're in the quantum field, what they've studied. It talks about the toric field, talks about all these things that, a lot of people are kind of scared of learning about. However, when you get to the end of it, there are opportunities to download his meditations. His meditations make me all out shake and cry from the effect of them. They are profound. I have a feeling they're more ramped up because I've got my Reiki on while I'm doing it. But even so, I've heard so many people go through them. But their work. Okay, I don't like the word work. These ones take effort plus. So some of you aren't going to be ready to do this, and this may never interest you. Like, let's be clear. This might not be something that you're ever interested in. You may just want to stay on the softer side, on the loving side, on the non-scientific side, and that is super cool because most of the people I work with are in this, and they're getting benefit, they're getting help. And then they find the modalities that really work with them, whether it's EFT or Reiki or Qigong or yoga or some other, light therapy, NET, any of those kinds, drum therapy. Drum therapy is super cool. I wish I were coordinated enough to make it nice. However, you'll find that. And some people don't need the breakdown and the explanation. And there's zero wrong with that. That is absolutely 100% perfect for you. For me now, so I've gone down this alley of reading these people, studying this stuff. In my day job, we had a lady named Denise Lynn. You may have noticed her here on my cards. She was in the sanctuary thing that I do in the daytime. And, I have her stuff. Like I'm reading and, 20 years of reading all this stuff, I've integrated it comfortably for me. Where I've come to at this point is wanting to strip it all back and make it normal. I want to make it accessible to people who haven't heard about this stuff before. Because what I have found, and then what I see online, is people who are a little bit advanced down that track. So say where I was 10 years ago in being all about this and that and the other thing, and that they're exploring that now and they're sharing that exploration and using it. There are so many people who are afraid of all of the pageantry that comes along with energy work, crystals, incense, candles, dancing, drums, feathers, waving things around. Like all of that is pageantry. It's energetic pageantry, but it's so much. It's a lot. And there's a lot of people that get left in the dust because that immediately turns them off. And as a counselor, I would rather have someone come because something is simple. And I would rather have them have the help than be enamored with the show. Not that the show doesn't work. It can and it does. But I would rather have people who are skeptical or a little bit just turned off by it, give it a chance. Because I think the more people that we find and that can feel comfortable in a collective where it's okay to explore and discuss and question earnestly and honestly, I think that more people will get help. The more people that get help and feel better about their lives in whatever way they need to, the whole planet ends up getting better. I've got this one tiny pocket chance here to put things out in layman's terms and not make them complicated. So while I still occasionally go back and check things out and remind myself of certain things, I also don't want to make it complicated by diving so deep down a hole and needing all of it, because I don't think that's helpful for people who are kind of got sticker shock with the whole energy thing. You know what I mean? And I don't mean sticker shock in a monetary way. I mean sticker shock on what the hell are you people doing? That's kind of who I want to be there for. And why in today's thing, it's like, bring your skepticism. It's okay. I'm there. I'm still skeptical from time to time. I'm super skeptical about modalities that I know nothing about. I'm like, what? And what are you basing that on? Like, so for me, Reiki makes sense because it's energy. When someone's working with energy and they can't relate it back to something super simple, and they just go, oh, never mind. I just like, I'm like, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. And I know that there's a lot of fakery out there. And I don't want to come off as being fake. I would rather have you throw your questions at me and have us talk about them than go, oh, never mind. It's not for you. You're not evolved enough. You're not spiritual enough. You're not awakened. I'm not awake and I'm awake and I've got my second coffee on the go, but like, what? That's just not helpful for so many people. And I think that you guys now who've been here for a while, you're kind of getting it, right? Like, and I appreciate your support and keep lobbing your questions at me. I'm glad you're comfortable for the most part throwing them at me. So this is where now I'm going to lean into a question that I hope it's okay, Mindy, to say your question that you sent me. And it's like, in the video yesterday, in the distance session we did, and I've left the original up. Normally I take the whole original down because a lot of the banter at the beginning and the end doesn't make sense. So I don't allow them to live up there. I excerpt what is helpful, I think, and I post that on my channel. But Mindy asked me a question about, hang on a minute. I'm going to paraphrase it, Mindy, if that's okay. You said that the soul comes back, or the soul comes to a body to have experience and makes a plan on a series of experiences it wants to have. Why would a soul plan on violence as part of its journey? Why? Like, why does that make sense? Why would it want something horrific in a lifetime? So I'm going to take my time and answer this one. Your soul, I believe, and it's what I feel when I do this, when I work with energy. It's not something I read in a book, and it's not something that, I can attribute to anything other than I profoundly feel it. Your soul is timeless. And in its timelessness and in its existence as energy, it doesn't get the opportunity to onboard the kinds of experiences that cells and physical matter can have. And in order for a soul to go about its own journey and picking up experiences and understandings and learnings, it too needs to dive into experience, and it uses physical matter to do that. Now, understanding something like what trauma is, and trauma requires some level of violence, whether it's emotional, mental, physical, or spiritual violence. In order for it to have an understanding of it, it needs to happen. It needs to actually happen. And as the soul is going through those experiences through your body as a vehicle, it's not that it intends you to hurt. It's about having that experience with you together. And at the end of the day, remember that the soul comes from pure energy, which is an instantiation of pure love. I don't think I can explain that with other words. And just open up your mind to embracing the concept that love and energy are the same thing. And love and energy carry information. And information is available to learn, understand, grow, and change. So when the soul, prior to popping inside your body, to use a very loose phrase, when it chooses to do that, and it chooses to explore the concept of violence and what it feels like, what it's doing is offering an opportunity to understand its own nature as pure love. And when you find the opposites of pure love, you have experience. So then it dives into a deeper understanding of its connectivity to itself and the world. It provides this living being here with the opportunity to explore the concepts that it's exploring. So remember, too, that I've always said that in energy, there's no such thing as judgment. Judgment is definitely a human construct, right? So there's two things, and this is something I talked about like 20 years ago when I started doing my counseling stuff and then leaning into Reiki. We have the ability to evaluate something, and we have the ability to judge something. They're two different things. Evaluation is discernment. This thing is this way and affects things in this way, including me. It's an observational point. Evaluation and discernment is observation of how something affects something else, or how something is operating. When I judge it, so let's take bank robberies. There's a bank robbery, which means there's a bank robber. So the bank robber goes in and robs the bank. During the robbing of the bank, there is some violence committed upon one of the bankers. So you can look at that, and I can evaluate it as the bank robber did this. Why did he do this? Well, obviously he had a need for money, and he or she had a need for money, or got some benefit out of the action of robbing that bank. Now, was their intention to go in and hurt someone, or was that a byproduct of that person's choice? You see what we're doing here? We're evaluating what occurred. Now, discernment comes in when I think, I'm really glad I wasn't there, because that wouldn't have been good for me. I know that I would not have enjoyed that experience whatsoever. So I discern that being in a bank robbery and being a victim to a bank robber's actions, maybe I own the bank, maybe it's hurt me that way. Or maybe my money was taken out of the safety deposit box and I'm a client and it's hurt me that way. And I discern that that kind of thing is not good for me. It is not an action that is helpful to anyone except for maybe the person who's doing it. And helpful by meaning getting gain. Then on this side, let's go over here. We got judgment. Man, that guy was a dick. What's he doing? He just hurt that person. God, low life. Man, these people who do this, they're just lazy. They don't want to go out and work on their own. They don't want to go get a job. It's easier to rip someone off than go get your own job. Do you hear the tone of that one on this side? This is judgment. This is my moral judgment. I am morally now evaluating this person because I think they're an idiot. I think they're a lowlife. I think that they're lazy. I think that they're bad. All of those words are moral judgments. And morality is dictated to us through our societal links. So in some cultures, that kind of thing is like, meh, I don't know where. That's a bad example. I could probably think of a lot more. But we morally evaluate someone and then we drive our disdain, our hatred, our fear, our disgust. We're not using our powers of observation there. We've gone further than the powers of observation and we've started dropping opinion. And our opinion is based on our moral structures in the society we're from, right? So there's those two worlds. Guess which one the soul lives in? The soul observes. The soul doesn't judge. In love, there is no judgment. In pure energy, there is no judgment. We need judgment because we're a society of human beings with feelings. But here's the deal. When you have this one, you need a penal code. You need police. You need a structure in society that will meter out the discipline for people who break our moral codes. In this one over here, you don't, because we're merely in experience, understanding through clinical observation. This is where the soul practices. It wants to understand. And in its understanding, through the experiences that you have, and it's a hitchhiker with you, it wants to understand. But in its understanding, it's providing you an opportunity to walk away from the judgment, disdain, hatred, fear, loathing, shame, and guilt. And it's saying, can you understand that where I'm from, we don't do this? And when your body lets go of life, you come over here. No, you don't. You never come over here. You stay here. Your body leaves this arena and melds over here in this full-on loving attempt at understanding everything. So, Mindy, to bring it back to your question about why violence, it's not that your soul is doing this to you. It is with you. And while it's learning, it's giving you an opportunity to try to understand that everybody is doing the best they can. And that's true. And it's giving you an opportunity to lean into love for yourself as you've made it through the trauma. And then to be aware of all of that. And you know what I'm going to say. Choice. The choice is yours on how you're going to go forward. I'm sorry that took a while to explain from my perspective, but I do profoundly believe that all of that is true. And I know it's hard to hear some of that. And it's a big concept to digest. But I'm here to help you understand that. So keep throwing those questions at me, especially when they're this deep and thick and serious. All right, I'm going to go back to your comments now. All right. Yeller Belly's here. Ah, okay. All right, I want to address them as I come to them. You've been feeling down and depressed. And then you get scared that you're going to manifest more bad things. Yeah, I understand that. It's a cycle. When we talk about the spiral, spiral goes in two directions. It can go down. We're really used to practicing this one. It's harder to do this one. Okay. On a frequency level where you have, guilt, shame, loathing, jealousy, hatred, sadness. And then you hit more neutral things like indifference. And then you can start to go, being blasé, okay, being calm, maybe being a little happy, giddy, joy-filled, blah, blah, blah. When, as human beings, we have a life of opportunity to learn things that suck and experience things that are difficult, we naturally focus on them because I think a lot of the people around us help us focus on them. They offer opportunities for us to remember the hard parts and live in the hard parts. I had a discussion with my husband about this morning. What were the words? Fester, perseverate. There was one more. Fester and perseverate. These are words that are not nice words. Fester and perseverate means, stew. Stew, to stew in something. We always use these words when we talk about being in a negative experience and living it over and over and over. We stew in it. We perseverate. We let it fester in us. These are not high vibe words. They are not high vibe activities. These are ones that keep you spinning in the low cycle. How the heck do you get out of that, Yeller Belly? Changing your environment is one of the ways. It's probably the best way to do it. So how do you do it? You hear the phrase, get out of your own head. It's really hard to get out of your own head sometimes when you live with yourself. It's your head. But when you don't make a change in your environment, like stop watching the news, stop taking the phone call from so-and-so. Oh, I've got a story about that one. Stop going to those events and those rallies, or stop thinking about those things and catch yourself in an awareness moment and decide to say, it's okay. They get to choose what they want to choose. I get to choose what I want to choose. This comes back to the two things that I talk about: awareness followed by choice. You don't get choice without awareness. So, and you're telling us that you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, and that feeds your fear that you're just going to get more of that. Can you think of ways to shift aspects of your environment? Pick one thing. And if it's get out of your own head, how do you do that? You hang out in places like this and you practice awareness moments of, I realized my thoughts went over there. I'm aware that my thoughts went over there. Hey, that's cool. I don't normally do that. I'm really grateful that I noticed my thoughts were over there right now. And they're just thoughts. They're not good thoughts. They're not bad thoughts. They're clinically observed thoughts sitting in energy. So those two spaces I just talked about, your awareness, when it is devoid of moral judgment, sits in this pocket of observation and understanding. That's a great place to start. I'm sorry that you've been feeling that way. I try and hang out here with us. The videos that I have where I've posted the excerpts, hang there, man. Go, because I talk about and I give you an opportunity to allow your thoughts to be what they are. Thank yourself for noticing where they were and come back to the present moment, because that's what that awareness moment allows you. And get a rock. I say that blithely, but I mean it seriously. All right. I want everybody to tell me about the rocks they've selected later. Maybe later this week. Right. So this is a nice suggestion from Lily. You can get a crystal and nominate it to be your gratitude stone, to remind you of gratitude and be grateful. I keep one on your bed, your bed. Blah, blah, blah. I keep one on my bedside, and you hold it before falling asleep. So nice. Again, these are opportunities that you're going to choose to do. This is why it's self-empowerment, because I'm not there in your house foisting a stone on you. I'm not going to do that. I'd like you to decide that that might be helpful for you. And if it isn't, that's okay too. Because what I'd like you to do, and what I think would be helpful for you to have an awareness moment, is to select the vehicle by which you're going to create the awareness moment. This is weeks and weeks, maybe months ago now, where our friend Mindy said she had an awareness moment 2 days after the fact. And how useful is that? Very useful, because you never had one before. It might be 2 days later, but 2 days later is awesome, because what it means is it happened where it never happened before. And that is giving you an opportunity right then and there to make the choice, where never before had you been aware that you could make a choice. So just kind of on board the concept of an awareness moment. An awareness moment is in the present moment. And in the present moment, when you have that awareness moment, you could always be grateful, even if it's simply for taking a breath and realizing that that was an awareness moment. All right. Oh, I love that you guys are chatting with each other. This is so great. That's great. Can I share this one? I'm going to put this up. So Mindy and Maggie were talking yesterday about finding a place to do somatic healing for traumatic release through body movement. You were going to pull something out of the quantum field and you didn't understand what it meant, but you think you found a place today. This is the excitement that is in the quantum field. This is the potential, the possibility, and the opportunities of doors being opened and you choosing to go through those doors or to peek inside the doors. Maybe you're just peeking at this point, but you know there's a door and you know it's opportunity. And it's always going to be good for you because all of it is experience. So yay, I hope that that works out for you. That's fantastic. All right, so Maggie sympathizes with Yeller Belly. And she's had those worries in the past also. You're not alone in that. You are not alone in that. Are his meditations on YouTube? Maybe. I know he's got a channel. He's got a website. He's got a social media. He's got a platform where you can pay. He is very involved with something called the Heart Math Institute, if you want to check it out. And this is where they're literally trying to dive into the science of it. And our science machines and understanding aren't quite there yet. I really look forward to the day, and I do think it will happen while I'm alive, that science catches up to understanding how powerful our brain waves are and what they do for us. Yay. Oh, I love your comments over here, guys. Fantastic. Oh, Jax. Nice feedback. And thank you. You were really down yesterday. Then after you joined the session, your mood instantly changed for the better. I'm happy for you that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, this is interesting. It's trauma-focused equine therapy. Oh, I love that. Which I really wanted to find. And there's a Reiki and somatic healing and many different things. Horses have deep healing power for you. You are not alone in that one, Mindy. Horses are powerful and graceful, a little bit terrifying if you stand behind them and they don't want you there. But they're wonderful. I love horses. I think they're amazing. This is fantastic. So put on your radar, you horse people out there, that there is a movie coming out from Love Wild Films. They're coming out with a movie about therapy and horses. Dana and Chrisana are the producers and makers of the film. And I think it's shot in either Arizona or Montana. I'm not quite sure. Lovewildfilms.com is their website. And if you're a horse person, that movie will be released this year. They've been working on it. They're the people who have worked with people in our field before, and they're beginning to put out movies. They're really beautiful movies. They're one that's already out there. If you haven't seen it and you want what I feel is a really realistic look at what healing means, it's called Love Heals. And I think if you just type in Love Heals film, it'll come up. Again, Chrisana and Dana are the producers and makers of those films. And what it does is follow, I think it follows Chrisana's journey of having a really bad leg injury. And I think it's her knee, and chronic pain from an old injury that just never healed. And about what it means to heal. And it's a dive into her journey. It's a documentary of her journey with what healing means. And you guys have been here long enough to know that I'm going to say that if you're in an accident and your arm gets cut off and you really wish your arm were back, the quantum field is not going to bring you your arm back. What it's going to do is allow you to heal emotionally, mentally, and spiritually in a different way, so that you are no longer hurt by the absence of your arm. It'll help you with the grief of missing your arm. We can't live long enough to biologically grow an arm back right now. But we can heal and be whole. And the presence of the arm isn't going to make us whole and healed. Healing is wider than that. And the underlying message of this film is that concept. So it's called, again, Love Heals by Chrisana and Dana. And Love Wild Films is there. Is it Love Wild Films or Live Wild Films? Hang on. I'll look that up for you. livewildfilms.com. Oh, there's the movie for the horses. Chrisana and Dana. Rescued Hearts is the horse one, coming in 2024. Then they have Love Heals. And then they have one called Journey Home. Oh, it's with prisoners. A rare glimpse inside an Arizona jail where a powerful program empowers women with the arts. Ooh, guess what I'll be watching later on this week? I didn't know that one existed. So check it out if you're so inclined. They're powerful messages, but why I like them is because they meet us as humans and they bring that slap of reality that sometimes we need. And I say slap because sometimes it hurts. Sometimes accepting what's your state of play isn't going to feel great. But when you spend your present moment knowing you're whole and healed and well and loved, there's no opportunity, there's no room to go down the spiral. That's why I spend that time rehashing that and just giving you the practice in that. And let's be clear, guys, this is for me as well. I get to do this with you. And for me, it's profoundly powerful. And it reminds me every day when I do this in the morning and I get up, it just reminds me. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, I love that you're sharing your stories with each other here. Yeah, so this is a good word, and it's one I didn't choose. It is one that is used in the industry quite a bit. It's duality, and Lily reminds us of that. And we need to experience duality to understand emotions. It's the old adage. You see it. I mean, they build this in cartoons and movies. In order to understand good, you have to understand evil. In order to understand cold, you have to understand hot. Opposites. In order to understand one, you have to understand the other. In the non-judgmental sphere of energy, where matter doesn't play into existence, there is only energy. Energy is neither love nor hate, neither good nor bad. It just is what it is. For a soul to exist in that and feel full potential all the time, this kinetic awesomeness just is, in order for it to have a grasp on what sentient physical beings are doing and experiencing, it's got to land those experiences itself, and it needs a vehicle to do it. So that's a good word, duality. Yeah, okay. Put this explanation on YouTube permanently. Go back and listen as much as needs to be. Okay. I will. I will, Milan. I appreciate you saying that. Sometimes I feel like, I mean, you guys know I'm standing here looking at me doing this, but I feel all of you there. Like I know you're there. It's almost like I'm sitting in front of a classroom. I feel your energy on the other side of this. I know you're there. And I'm glad it's helpful. If I ever say something that is not clear or doesn't make sense, kind of like what Mindy said, she said, whoa, pull the brakes on that concept there. Explain that, because did I hear that right? Because that doesn't sound right. Please do that to me in my explanations. If I say something, because here's the other thing, I sometimes make mistakes with what I say and I hear them later. I'm like, oh, I didn't quite mean that. But it's just because I'm stream of consciousness talking about it and explaining it, trying to teach a concept that might be new to people. And I do misspeak. I'm human. That's going to happen out this mouth. So I will do that, Milan. I'll have it up in the next couple of days. All right. Sorry, I'm very behind in your comments, and I imagine some of you are falling asleep listening to me. So let me do this for a second. I need to get my cord. I need to mute my phone. I need to finish reading. I don't need to do a lot of things. And it's not a need. It's I'd like to. I'd like to plug my computer in so it continues. I'd like to mute my phone because there's a whole bunch of stuff happening here that's loud. All right, I'm expecting a delivery, but the delivery guy isn't going to be able to reach me because I'm busy. It's a whole lot to take in, Mindy. It is a lot. It's thick, it's hairy, and it's probably not what you want to hear. So here, that's an interesting point. What do you want to hear? If somebody's saying something to you and you bristle, you back up and walk away, why? If someone's, if there's a new concept that you're learning, kind of like this stuff, and I say it and I cheese you off, what do you want to hear? Answer that question first. Well, I want to hear blah, 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 whatever it is. And it's going to be a different answer for everybody. Some of them might sound similar, but it will be individualized. What do you want to hear? And why? Why do you want to hear that? And then think about the conversation we had yesterday about secondary benefit. What do you get out of hearing it that way? What could you possibly get by hearing something that's hard to onboard? What could you get? My hope, every time I do this for myself, my hope is that I grow in a new way, that I expand my understanding, and that ultimately I expand my self-acceptance. Because I'm still doing it too. You know why my memory is fantastic? Because you guys are consistent. I remember you because you're consistently here. I remember you because you are on a journey with us together. It's not that I have a fantastic memory, believe me. I might not remember what I ate yesterday. When it comes to this, though, and energy is involved, it embeds in us. This is the collective. The collective is able to hold information on our behalf. And as we talk about things, for me, bits of information pop in the field around me. That's what's happening. It's all about energy. And behind that energy is care, concern, joy. And it's just carries a higher vibration. Therefore, it's there for us. That's what's going on with that. Just believe me. I sat yesterday talking to my husband about something. I could not remember the name of a friend we've had for a bazillion years. I'm thinking, am I getting Alzheimer's? What's going on? Dementia? Like, seriously, I'm sitting there wondering, going, where is that name? And I'm like, I can't even picture them, but I know who I'm talking about. But what's wrong with my brain right now? So that's a good example of what energy can bring and hold into someone's sphere, and why it's important that you have an awareness moment when you're in a lower sphere, and then make a choice about feeling good about that awareness moment, which is going to shift the vibration of that sphere up. Okay, so you guys are talking about stones and which ones. Excellent. Rose quartz is always a good go-to. Tourmaline, obsidian, hematite. Awesome, good grounding stone too. Oh, so Lily's seen Love Heals. Of course you have. It's lovely. Oh, so Wade, you're here. You called out 1111. That was a while. Oh my God, that was a while ago. So I've been yammering on for almost an hour, guys. All right. Okay, so you know the film that I was talking about, Mindy. Fantastic. All right. Nothing is random. An Arizona film. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Lily, thanks. It's, again, please, I'm not the be all end all of everything in what I talk about. I literally am here just hoping that, anybody who wants to begin to have a change or is just tired, is truly ready for change, will give alternative therapies a chance. There's so many therapists out there who are amazing. And finding people who can open a door for you to investigate, I think that's kind of what I'm doing here as well. Oh, I don't know if I have an answer to this question, Maggie. Okay. Does the soul care about the body, or does it just use it as a vessel? The soul loves the body. The soul loves its existence. The soul loves your existence. The soul loves the existence of other bodies and other souls. The soul can't do anything else but exist in a state of love. This question comes from a place of us putting a human material quality on the soul. If you cared about me, you wouldn't hurt me. Oh, I just felt that. I just felt you respond to that. Not just you, Maggie, but a bunch of you. Because we've all as humans had that. If we haven't had that direct sentence in our heads, we've had that feeling in our hearts, and we cry. If you cared for me, you wouldn't seek to hurt me. This comes from a place of judgment, thinking that everybody shows care and love in the same way, and that someone who hurts me can't possibly love me, and their love is bastardized. These are moral explanations of that phenomenon. The soul doesn't do that. The soul loves. The soul isn't hurting you. From its level of operation, and that is a really material term, but I can't talk outside of material terms because I'm a human. But from the soul's level of operation, this experience is not just good from the soul's perspective. It's good for the material perspective to gain an opportunity to lean into loving and understanding itself. So every time we have a crappy experience that maybe our soul wants, it gives us an opportunity to know that outside of that experience, we are whole. We are not broken. We are loved. Even though safety doesn't feel like the right word, we are here expressing energy and love. And those crappy experiences give us an opportunity to truly learn self-love. Now, Lily, I'm going to ask you here to go get the link from the video that you found the other day from that woman, Alyssa, I think her name was, and post it below, because she talks about this, that through all the trauma and the near-death experience she had, she came back understanding that all of it, all of the horribleness was required to give her an opportunity to understand what it actually means to love yourself. And I know that one of the threads that pulls all of us together as human beings is the purpose of adding to the conglomerate of self-love that exists. And the only way we can do it is to completely onboard it, accept it, understand it, and live it. So, Lily, if you don't mind, would you please post that link? Thank you for that question, Maggie. Super good question. All right. Okay. Yeah, Mindy, you did the exercise immediately. I appreciate that effort you put in. I'm really proud of you right now. What I asked you, what do you want to hear? You might not want to hear my answer. You might not want to hear an answer that's outside of what you want to hear. And what you want to hear is that the soul didn't choose those experiences, that the world is horrible and that my soul got stuck in it too, that we're all victims, even the soul. Okay. I am so glad there's a bunch of you that think that too. You want to hear truly that the world is horrible. You want to hear that because then it means you're a victim in this ride. Your soul's also a victim. I get it. I get how easy it makes. Oh, I don't even know how to say this. And I want to be careful because I'm so sensitive to your experiences, all of you. It's easy. And that, you did a huge step there, my friend. Wow. Good on you. Wow. I'm glad you're going to sit with it. It's uncomfortable to sit with it. I don't think change. Oh, my husband says this all the time, but he says it with reference to learning and education, no matter how old you are. True learning and growth doesn't come without discomfort. He, as an educator, and he's done this his entire life, has said this for the longest time. Struggle leads to growth. Learning happens with struggle. Because if you don't struggle to grasp something, then you already know it. You're not learning, you're stagnant. And this relates to the conversation we're having now about being uncomfortable. So, how are you going to learn something if you don't want to hear it? Yeah. Thank you, Lily, for also coaching through here, giving people suggestions. It's all about suggestions. Just because I suggest it, guys, doesn't mean it might be right for you. I get that. But this is the kind of counselor I am, and this is how I do work with people. I get that my way forward is not going to be for everybody because I lean towards reality therapy mixed with a bunch of other techniques. But plus, also, I don't have time anymore to mince words. And I'm going to respect you through everything I say. But also, if it bugs you, I get it. Oh, links won't show in the comments. Okay, it's against community guidelines. I get it. You found that out when you tried to post the Jennifer Somatic Healing John Hopkins link yesterday. So yeah, Lily, there you go. Next Level Soul podcast. Ah, yes, with Alex Ferrari. Ellen Dye, no, given her last name. She had an NDE where she understood all her challenging circumstances are for her to master self-love. All right, thank you for posting that. Anybody here who's interested in that can go check it out, along with all the other things that we've been mentioning today. And with that, let's do this. Let's do a 10-minute wind down for your day, wind up for my day. And yeah, you guys, I will pull out the excerpts of the hefty stuff I was talking about. And you can do with it what you will from there on, okay? All right. Yeah. Gonna step back. All right, it's near the bottom of the hour. So whether you're standing or sitting or laying down, it doesn't matter. Take a minute and allow your body to find a place of comfort. And just breathe any way you want. And in your breath, feel your body. Feel the air move through your nose or your mouth. Detect the temperature. Cool, warm, hot, or cold. Feel your lungs respond to that intake of energy and oxygen. Rapid, slow, offbeat, or tempered. Simply notice how air moves from outside of you, through you, to your lungs. As you breathe, and you connect the outside air to the inside of your lungs, you're experiencing this present moment. And in this present moment, through the breathing process, you have no time for anger. You have no time for worry. You appreciate being here. And you feel love in the process through your choice to just breathe any way you want. in this moment. You have chosen to be present. And your action of breathing connects your heart to your mind. Has your breathing changed? Has it slowed down? Has it sped up? Does it remain neutral? Is it dry? Does it carry moisture? Does it have a texture or a color? Is it easy to breathe in or breathe out? Does it require effort? How is your body responding to the motion of your lungs as it cycles the oxygen? Does your stomach move up and down? Or does your chest move up and down? Is a scent carried through your nose? In these present moments, as you detail the natural act of breathing, you can only live in the present moment. And as you do, the lower vibrations experienced earlier and train upward through your choice to be in the present moment. And you know that just for today, you are anger-free. And just for today, you are worry-free. And just for today, you are earnest with your efforts. And just for today, you are kind. And in this present moment, through your awareness, you are grateful. Okay. I hope some of you are feeling the calm of that present moment. And for those of you falling asleep, it's okay to let go now. Today was a heavy day with comments and questions, concepts. But I appreciate you asking and being willing to onboard something that might be slightly uncomfortable. Oh, we've missed Wade sign off. For those of you who are still enjoying the present moment, knowing that the energy is doing what it needs to do and will reach its own natural decline in momentum, then maybe you want to sign off and be with that present moment a little bit longer. Good night, Mindy. I hope that that was a little bit more calming for you. All right. Good. Good night, Mindy. Take your present moment straight into your dreams. All right. Well, hopefully you can walk into your busy day a little more calmly. Lily, thank you for being here and thank you for your support in the comments. I appreciate it a lot. All right, folks, I think it's been almost an hour and a half that I've been here. If anybody has any feedback or a question right now, it's the time to ask it. And I'll do my best. Otherwise, I will probably let you all go to sleep. I think that Lily and I are the only ones in the waking world right now. You're welcome, Cora. I hope you have a great sleep. All right, it's pretty quiet in the chat. Wow, you guys, I think you've fallen right asleep. I'm nothing if not hypnotic. I'm glad for you. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off and let you have at it, okay? Tomorrow morning, not sure. Thursday morning, most likely. Friday morning, not sure. Again, I try to post by the top of the hour, 8 a.m. my time, if I'm going to be live. And that's how you'll know. Until I can figure things out. By the way, for those of you who are still here, I'm beginning talks with my colleague about opening my portal to at least my website, which is choosereiki.com. It's not open yet, but I own it, to do 1 hour lives as a membership platform. I will let you guys know first before anybody else. And then ask you to help me find the people who might enjoy this kind of experience. I've just got to figure my way forward through a couple of legal issues, but I'm beginning those conversations now in earnest. So I appreciate all of you. All right. And I'll talk to you next time. Okay. I'm going to put on the music for a bit, lose the picture. And if some of you are asleep, maybe this will help you. See you next time.